On July 22nd, 2025, to order at 7:01 p.m. Please rise for this Pledge of Allegiance. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a few ground rules. For safety, notice the exits. The restrooms are to my right in the hallway. The agenda is on the table at the entrance, and we'll follow the agenda's order. The town board welcomes public input at every meeting. Step up to the lectern. We are videotaping or broadcasting it for the people at home, so please speak into the mic. Only address the chair. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Madam Clerk will keep the time and will notify the speaker when their time's up. Personal attacks are not allowed. Remember decorum. Address all questions to the chair. Statements made by the speaker or the speaker's opinion is up to each individual to discover the truth on their own. Special presentations are allowed by the town board. It informs us, it informs the community, helps us make decisions, and also gives us great input. And Madam Clerk, with that, will you please read the roll?
Supervisor Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Cunningham. Here. Councilman Malone.
He's out of town for work.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Attorney for the town.
Here.
I just have a couple quick comments. First, I want to recognize the passing. We had several passing of two great Arundecoit residents, Mr. Deshenko, and also the passing of Patricia Wayne, our town historian. Our deepest condolences go to the family. As a leader, I'm always amazed at the ingenuity of our staff, and the people that work here, and the people that we lead. One of the things that I listened to the residents for was they wanted a special event to happen, wanted Oktoberfest to come back, and et cetera, et cetera. But through the ingenuity of our staff, we found another festival that fell in our hands, the Ho Chi Nanny Festival, which is coming up on August 8th through 10th. I'm pretty excited about it. Our staff has worked very hard on it. They bought it. It's kind of a grounds-up festival where it started with the staff and worked its way up. And that's the way that leadership is supposed to work. In the Army, I would say that my job is to drink coffee. Their job was to work. With that, we have the Hoochie Nanny Festival coming up on August 8th through 10th. Thanks to everyone who worked on this for their great work. We also have another event coming up, the Senior Expo, or as Councilwoman Cunningham would say, the Older Adult Expo. That's coming up August 20th, 9 through 12 at the Arundecoit Community Center. Everyone is welcome, especially the older adults. And if you care for someone or are going to be an older adult, this is the place to be. Madam Clerk, it appears that we have scheduled 2 public meetings for tonight to begin at 7:35. And with that, we have a presentation. I think we're going to do historian. Okay. We're going to start with the Historic Preservation Board.
So just for clarification, this is not the Historical Preservation Board presentation. This is the presentation for Patricia Wayne.
Okay, great. The presentation for Patricia Wayne. Thank you.
Apologies for the confusion. I'm Christopher Brandt, Chair of the Arundecoit Historic Preservation Commission, and I'm here tonight to provide this memorial statement in memory of Patricia or Pat Wayne, our former town historian. So if I may, I provide you all the written copy of what I'll read here tonight. Patricia Pat Wayne, our former longtime town historian, passed away earlier this month at the age of 97. Born in Akron, New York, Pat attended the University of Wisconsin before moving to the vicinity of where land and waters meet with her husband, Anthony, and settled at their longtime home on Brookview Drive in the mid-1950s. Pat had a fulfilling decades-long career as a social studies teacher at East High School in Rochester before retiring in 1989. Bored of retirement life, she applied twice and was interviewed for and appointed as our town historian in 1991. Mrs. Wayne carried on the legacy of her notable predecessors, Walter Sassman and Maud West, serving with zeal and dedication in her office for 28 years, likely becoming the longest-serving town historian in Irondequoit's history. Pat's passion for and dedication to the documentation and preservation of Irondequoit's cultural heritage cannot be overstated. According to our current town historian, Tim Judd, his accounting, that she wrote over 100 articles on our town's history that were published in the Irondequoit Post and Democrat and Chronicle, in addition to her countless public talks and lectures. She established a long, productive, and collaborative relationship with the Irondequoit Historical Society and the town's Public Works Department that under her leadership was instrumental in saving, repairing, and relocating the Pioneer House in 1995, the Cobblestone Clubhouse in 2004, and the Cobblestone Blacksmith Shop in 2008, all to town-owned property. Pat and her collaborators received long overdue recognition for this work with a Special Commendation Award from the Landmark Society of Western New York in 2024. Historian Wayne was also a tireless advocate for our town's oldest burial ground, the Hooker Cemetery, working to secure funds and volunteers to restore headstones, create walkways, and maintain the landscape. And then lastly, the reason many of my fellow commission members had the opportunity to work with Pat, in addition to myself, was due to her leadership in establishing Irondequoit's Historic Preservation Commission and our Historic Preservation Code in 2002. And this was an effort that she would continue to support until her retirement as town historian in 2019. Patricia Wayne was a remarkable and tenacious woman who made an indelible positive mark on her adopted hometown of Irondequoit, altering its history, its architecture, and its environment for the better. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Ms. Denishenko? Slava Ukraini.
Heroyam Slava. I also asked Greg Benoit to join me since we are on this project tied at the hip. And so I will ask him to say a few words first, and then I will conclude the presentation.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Town Board, Town Supervisor, and audience. We have tonight a copy of a book that contains poetry and artwork by students in both the United States and Ukraine, 3 schools here in Irondequoit and 3 schools over in Ukraine. And I want to be mindful of everybody's time tonight, so I'll be brief in drawing your attention to the copyright page. This page, it's my professional opinion, is often the most skipped page in books. Typically it's not very important, but in this case it tells the story of all of the organizations and individuals who made this work possible. So when you receive your copy of the book, take a look at this page because we had an extraordinary effort by folks at schools and the library and different nonprofit organizations in both countries to make this possible. And I specifically want to call out thanking the Babyuk family, the Ukrainian American Community Foundation, and Tamara herself for including me on this project. And the work will continue. When the school year starts, I'm going to be meeting with a teacher in Irondequoit and a teacher, actually vice principal in Ukraine, to help coordinate a student-led art and poetry show that will take place using internet technology and will be participated in by students in both countries. It's so refreshing to be a part of a project where we celebrate the differences, or celebrate our similarities instead of squabbling over our differences. And I'll turn it over to you, Tamara. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I just want to add, this is the most important page in the, well, it's one of the important pages of the book. The works of the children are the most important and heartwarming pages. But I want to thank the people who joined us, who supported with donation to publish the book, and I called it the DIP project, Dnipro, Irondequoit, Poltava. And Poltava is a sister city of Irondequoit for the past 30-some years. And I want to add also that Pat Wayne, she was on the first board of the sister city community, and she was the secretary of the committee. And I would like that to be added to the bio that she spent many years working with us on the project. Okay. And I would also like to acknowledge the gentlemen and ladies who are here present who helped with the book. Well, especially Greg. Without him, I could not have done this project. Miron Babiuk, the printer, who did a wonderful job. And when we make the presentation, we will all come up. You will all hold the books in your hands, and we will take a picture because we will need to document for the next 50 years. And pictures are worth 1,000 words. I also would like to thank the Kornilov family, Mr. Kornilov, who is the president of our the chairman of the board of our Ukrainian Federal Credit Union. The Piloshenko family, unfortunately, Mirko passed. He was on the board of the library board for many, many years, and these are all Irondequoiters. We all grew up, and this was our town for a lifetime. We also have Christine Hushowski, who was a teacher, history teacher in West Irondequoit High School all her life until she retired. Yevhen Lelak, professor from RIT, also on the board of the Ukrainian Credit Union, which will be celebrating 75 years pretty soon here. And Dan Myers, who has been helpful, and Harlan Calkins, who started the Ukrainian Housing Foundation to help displaced Ukrainians find homes here in the United States because of the war. And also a message from Poltava, which, like I said, is our sister city since 1993, started by former town supervisor Fred Lappel, who was a great friend of our community. Dear Tamara, Greg, and Miron, on behalf of the Foreign Language Department of the Scientific Lyceum No. 3 in Poltava and our entire educational community, we sincerely congratulate you and express our deep gratitude for the fruitful cooperation throughout the past academic year. We are extremely grateful for the joint work on the Wings of Inspiration, and that was a title that the students chose, which culminated in the creation of a unique book of joint works by our students. This project has become not just an educational initiative, but a real bridge between our cultures, allowing young talents from Poltava and Irondequoit to unite their voices and creative ideas. Throughout the year, our students had a great opportunity not only to improve their language skills, but also to immerse themselves in the world of literature, art, and learn more about the culture and everyday life of their peers around the pond, across the pond. The creation of this book has become a powerful stimulus for the development of their creativity, critical thinking, and intercultural communication. Each poem, each story, each drawing in this collection is a testament to their hard work and mutual inspiration. Again, special thanks to Tamara, Greg Benoit, and Miron Babiuk for their tireless energy, dedication, and invaluable coordination that made this project possible. Your support and enthusiasm have been a driving force for all of us. Oh, the mic is on. We are proud of the results of our cooperation and believe that the Wings of Inspiration project will leave a bright mark on the hearts of our students, inspiring them to further achievement and opening new horizons. We look forward to continuing our friendship and implementing new joint initiatives that will contribute to the development of international cooperation and the education of future generations of global citizens. Sincerely yours, the Principal of Scientific Lyceum Number 3, Irena Hreň. And just to mention at the closure, the other teachers who spent months and months working on the project last year from Ukraine. Oksana Soprun, the Vice Principal in Dnipro, Irina Tarasenko, English Language Teacher in Dnipro, Natalia Aadi, Vice Principal in Poltava, Elena Nikul, English Language Teacher in Poltava, Natalia Demar, Vice Headmaster in Poltava, and Irina Yurchenko, English Language Teacher in Poltava. I look forward to reestablishing our Poltava connections, possibly even visiting, and cordially invite the board in September to greet Lilia Matvichuk, a 28-year-old widow whose husband died defending Ukraine. They will be here through the Open World COIL Open World program sponsored by our congressional office to learn how we in the United States help our veterans survive after the war. Thank you so much, and I would like to call all the board members, Andre, to the front, so Greg, we can present each of you a book so you can read it, and in 3 months I'll ask you what you think about it, okay? Please, thank you. And I'm asking all our supporters to the front for the book presentation. I'll have everybody come in, everybody. Our guest. Andre?
In the background.
We'll stay, you stay here and I'll stay here. So I like balance, okay? Jim Head, where would you, which end would you like to hold up? This one, by middle? Yeah, I think okay. So you hold the book. Maybe we can all hold the book. I apologize, I like to micromanage everything. So we will all hold the book, because that's the key. Make sure. Hold it. Maybe we can, like this, yeah. And you, he stands straight, and stay, there you go. Ready, shoulders. In September, another meeting, and August.
I'll remember that.
Tell me which ones you like the best.
Okay.
All the schools. Front row. Thank you so much for. We made a lot of room.
I just want to say for the people at home that this is a great book. As many of you know, I fought with the Ukrainians overseas, and what a great culture, and what a great people, and they make the foundation one of our largest ethnic groups in the Rhine-Neckar, and so proud to serve them. Okay, any more? That's it, right? So now we'll open up for public input. Okay, we have a number of people to speak. We'll try to keep it at the 3-minute mark because of the number. So please be cognizant of that. The first person to speak is Glenna Chance. And if I destroy your names, please forgive me.
Good evening. My name is Glenna Chance. I'm here to find out why illegal fireworks use is condoned in Arundecoit. In my neighborhood, nightly fireworks started around June 2nd and have never stopped. And when I say nightly, I mean till 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the morning. I have gone through every channel available to a resident since the beginning of June. Since there has been no relief, I have had to conclude that my efforts have been ignored. I was told by the Arundecoit Police Department that there is no record of my 911 calls in early July. By law, these calls are recorded, and I have contacted the Monroe County Communications Department to ascertain why this was told to me. If the county is not fulfilling its duty, this becomes a state issue. Be that as it may, I need to impress upon anyone listening that this nightly assault is not a minor nuisance. For those with PTSD, it is literal terrorization, causing extreme physical harm. Fight or flight response is not an intellectual concept, but a debilitating physical condition which, combined with ensuing long-term sleep deprivation, is especially dangerous when it occurs without let-up every single night for months. Not being able to open windows for air when it is 89 or 90 degrees in the house, not that closed windows alleviate the assault much, is also physically dangerous. If the town really values its seniors and veterans who are suffering in their homes because of this illegal activity, do something about it. Public statements about checking in on seniors and the disabled and honoring veterans are hollow statements when you know for a fact that you are allowing their suffering by condoning the illegal activity that is harming them. As I wrote to the town supervisor and police chief, you have every communication vehicle at your disposal. You can easily get the word out that 1, illegal fireworks use is a crime, 2, violating the noise ordinance is a crime, and 3, those engaging in these crimes will be ticketed and fined. Why do the sensibilities of the criminal element take precedence over the needs and rights of law-abiding, tax-paying residents in Arundecoit? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Richard Barone, 154 Allwood Drive. I've been a resident of this town for about 60 years, and as a former official of this town for 22 years as a councilman and on the planning board, it saddens me when the town government does not follow the law. I sued the town on the first library vote. That was illegal. Mr. Perko knows about it. You had to cancel everything, even the public vote where the people voted. You had to throw away that vote in the garbage. In the last several years, I've dealt with 3 different town assessors prior to 2024. I was able to prove my assessment was either wrong, inaccurate, or violated the law. In one case, it violated the state and federal constitutions, the Equal Protection Clause, and the Board of Assessment and Review agreed that the town violated the Constitution under this assessor, who got raises. I have here hundreds of pages. I paid $163 for these. These are copies of your documents that your assessment department has, from the Bar of Assessment Review and the Small Claims Assessment Review Committee, which is appointed by the local judge. Proof that the assessments were wrong, consistently wrong under 3 different assessors. How can this happen? These assessors are paid somewhere around $80,000 or $90,000 a year. Where is the monitoring of the board? I've been in management in all my career, and one of the requirements of a management is to monitor what's going on. The assessor has the ability to raise taxes to the assessment process by increasing assessments, even more so than perhaps the budget you adopt in some cases. So you have documentation. I've given you a summary. I can back up every one of those numbers with these documents from the town. You're supposed to be the oversight, check on things. The town board is the chief executive officer, contrary to what Mr. Evans and I have discussed, because there is no CEO. That's what the law says. That's what the manual says for supervisors and town councilmen. In summary, I ask you to be the true oversight of the town. When I was a councilman, every member on the board acted as an oversight. You're supposed to represent the people, not the administration, not the employees. You're supposed to represent us. Your main job is make sure we're not hurt. Hundreds of people were hurt with illegal assessments. So you have a new assessor. Let's hope that he is better than the ones prior to 2024. The one assessor who was here in 2024, that's a different story. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Bill? Bill, I'm trying to, is the channel? Okay, all right. Mike Kretovic? Kreto, I think VIK. Nick Arnold.
Good evening, Supervisor Evans, Town Board members, and neighbors. My name is Nick Arnold, 158 Schnackle Drive. I'm here because the proposed short-term rental law is not just overreaching, it's legally vulnerable. It caters to the fears of a small, vocal minority while undermining the rights of responsible homeowners and exposing Irondequoit and taxpayers to expensive litigation. Capping STR permits at 50 townwide, banning transfers and imposing 500-foot exclusion zones strips away a legitimate, long-standing use of a private property. This is the kind of regulatory taking the Fifth Amendment guards against. In Texas Department of Community Affairs versus Inclusive Committees Project 2015, the Supreme Court emphasized the danger of rules that disproportionately harm property owners without clear justification. Similar STR bans have already triggered lawsuits and forced cities to pay damages. This law unfairly favors hotels and Airbnbs, actual bed and breakfasts, while punishing STR owners. It even uses a permit lottery, which courts have called arbitrary and capricious. The Hignell-Stark versus City of New Orleans in 2022 decision struck down parts of an STR law for exactly this reason, because it discriminated against out-of-town owners and violated the Commerce Clause. This law presumes a property is illegal simply because it's advertised online, effectively penalizing protected commercial speech that is a First Amendment violation waiting to happen. limiting permits, banning transfers, and adding burdensome costs like mandatory noise monitors kills competition and reduces home values. It's government-controlled scarcity that benefits a few permit holders at the expense of everyone else. Cities from Santa Monica to New Orleans have faced years of litigation and hundreds of thousands in legal costs over similar laws. And when that happens, it won't be the small group pushing this ban who pays. It'll be every taxpayer in Irondequoit. We already have noise, nuisance, and safety codes. Enforce them. Hold bad actors accountable, but don't punish responsible owners and destroy property rights to satisfy a handful of loud voices. This law is overbroad, arbitrary, unconstitutional in several aspects. If passed, it'll drag Irondequoit into lawsuits it will likely lose. I urge you, don't let the voices of a few lead us into legal and financial disaster. Reject this law or rewrite it with balance and fairness. This law isn't just misguided, it's un-American. Thank you.
Helen? Have Helen Flan? Hopefully I got your last name right. Looked like the pin was running out.
I know, the pen was right. Thank you, Town Supervisor and the Town Board. My name is Helen Elam, and I live at 4879 Culver Road. I have been a resident of the beautiful town of Irondequoit for 25 years, and I am not against short-term rentals. And I unfortunately did not get to read your entire new amended law. It is very detailed, and I'm pleased to see that because, for one, we live in a residential neighborhood. Since when did it become commercial? You know, a business. These people are running a business. So there should be detailed laws about how to run your business, just like every other business in the town of Irondequoit. And also for the laws and the codes that are included for long-term rentals. So why should they have any, compensation or be treated differently? So I just want to give you 8 bullet points. When a town allows Airbnbs and other short-term rentals to operate, there are several potential problems that can arise. And just here's a list of some of the common concerns communities have reported. Number 1, housing shortages and rising rental rates, neighborhood disruption, strain on local infrastructure, zoning and code violations, impact on the local economy, safety and liability concerns, tax and regulatory gaps, and community division. The slogan for Irondequoit is a community for a lifetime. We need to ensure that we keep our community together. I understand that you're allowing only 50 short-term rental permits in the town of Irondequoit, but I don't know how that's going to work, but I think you need to readdress it and go by per neighborhood because, some of those hot spots that are here for summertime resort areas and Seabreeze, Irondequoit Bay, Rock Beach, Lake Ontario, anywhere along the river. Those places could have up to 30 short-term rentals there, and then you have one resident, and they're all short-term rentals. So where's the community? Where's the neighborhood? It's gone. So really reconsider about the number of 50 being in the total town. That doesn't really make sense. So I thank you for listening. I have more details on each of my 8 bullets, but I'm conscientious of time. So one final comment, I'd like to remind you all that I'm a resident and I vote for you and you and you and you and you. Okay, do they? Don't know. Thank you.
Not addressing you directly, but if anyone, you have any data that you'd like to provide for the town board, just send it to the town clerk and she'll distribute it to us. So if you run out of time and you have more that you want to say or more data, please just get that to the clerk and then she would distribute it to the town board. The next person is I'm sorry. We now have a public hearing, and we'll go back to the, thank you. And we'll go back to the, public input after the public hearings. Madam Clerk, can you, may I have a motion to, may I have a motion to open the public hearing? Sorry. Madam Clerk, may I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The hearing is now open. Madam Clerk, can you read the first public hearing?
Public hearing number 1, on the matter of rezoning 31 Dozier Lane, tax ID 092.17-1-85 from R1 Residential District to RRPDD Ridge Road Plan Development District.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yes, thank you. This was an application received by Land Tech Planning and Surveying as property owner for an application to rezone 31 Dozier Lane from the, as the clerk explained, R1 Residential to Ridge Road Plan Development District. This is for the development of a proposed mini storage units and flex office space buildings.
Thank you.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. My name is John Sharaba with Land Tech, representing this application this evening. I look forward to presenting this project to the public this evening. I know the board has seen my presentation several times, but I'll go through it quickly and look forward to answering any questions from the public. As stated, this 31 Dozier property is 12 acres in size. It's located immediately east and adjacent to 590. It's south of Woodbridge Apartments, and it's north of the new Arundecoit DPW property, and it's east of San Marie Drive. The property is currently zoned R1. It contains a single-family residential home, several outbuildings, and 2 cell tower sites that are located on it. The property has a history. It was the Brockman farm for numerous years. Brockman family lived on that farm, raised their family, had horses and livestock, and Mr. Brockman operated his contracting business out of that property for several years. As Dozier LLC purchased the property last year and looking to develop this property, we came up with this philosophy of flex space, which is a situation where we can create space for contractors, hobbyists to, instead of operating out of their homes per se, they can come to this facility and operate out of this. We also want to do mini storage and outdoor storage. We work closely with the town staff and director of development on how to pursue and how to achieve these goals. Based on numerous conversations and meetings, we determined that the Ridge Road Development District was the way to go, and the rezoning was the best way to go to achieve that goal. To that end, we are sensitive to what this property is. It's very unique. There is a large gorge that's on the property, which is south of our property line, which is a buffer between us and the DPW. And we want to buffer the residential subdivision to the east, which is San Marie Drive. So all development will come off of the new highway department road. So any project that we want to do, we are proposing to leave as Dozier Lane as it is to service the existing house as it is. That's also should be noted that the leases for the cell towers have to go down Dozier Lane. Part of our application and part of our planning process for this property is to try to rescind those easements and have them come off of the town road. So that's some of what we're looking to do. We feel this is a good use of the property, that this is a good transition from the heavy commercial use or industrial use of the town, and buffering the apartments and the neighborhood. The flex space businesses are self-contained. They will be focused towards the inside of the property and towards the town. We don't want to negatively impact the subdivision to the east, and that's why those structures will be there. As I explained to the board previously, that these uses that we want are, for example, a landscape contractor. He could put his office here, he could sharpen his blades here, he could keep his phone service here, his computer, but then his staff can come here, grab their equipment, and go out to sites. That's very similar to framers, masons, asphalt contractors. And this product, this flex space philosophy, is in operation in other towns within Monroe County. It's in place in Webster, Chi-Li, Ogden, and Gates. So we feel that this helps the town. It takes those businesses that may be impacting a street where someone's running a business that's gotten too big and too successful, so they could come here. Other things that we find in the flex space situation is a hobbyist. And some of these guys have a woodworking facility where a bunch of friends could work on their hobbies, or classic cars. So these units are heated. They'll have gas, electric, sewer, and all those utilities are at this site. We feel that this site isn't really great for residential development. I don't think that anyone wants to live this close to the 590 with the cell towers in their backyard. We looked at multifamily opportunities. We feel that this really isn't suited for that, and it's really not the business model that we want to achieve on this property. So we think this is a great use of the property. I think it's a benefit to the town for our businesses, and I think will work well. My business partner, Craig Armitage, and I are both long-term Arundecoy residents. We have a mini storage that has been operating for 7 years on Washington Avenue in Arundecoy. We both live in the town, and we want to be good stewards of this property. So we want to make sure, number one, that we buffer our northern neighbors, be it the apartment project, and more importantly, that we buffer and work constantly with our neighbors to the east on San Marie Drive. So just to reiterate, we are proposing no access for any of the new development to come down 31 Dozier, even though we own it, and that'll just be for our sole use of the tenants of the house. That's a very quick overview. I look forward to trying to address any questions. I can take notes when the public comes up and come back and address them when that time.
Yes, that sounds good.
Thank you. I also failed to present the map. Again, this is just an overview, and I should point out to the board, I know the board knows this and the public doesn't know this, but the planning process and the process we're in is, if we're fortunate to get rezoned, now that is the start of the project. We have to do all of the planning, work with the planning board, and move through their process where we can go in more detail of planning, of zoning, buffering, and things like that. So this, to me, is more of a sketch to give the town board confidence in what we want to do. And our goal in the relative near future is just to build one building to test the market. A building of these scale are very expensive, so we are not going to go here and develop the whole property as I show on my sketch, but develop one building and see how that works, and look to develop in the future. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. We'll now accept public comments. Do we have anyone signed up for? Chief? Chief, can you get the public comment statement? No, not Chief. Miss Miranda. Sorry. Okay, we have Lynn Parsons to speak.
Good evening. Thank you for hearing me out. My name is Lynn Parsons. I'm a mental health counselor, and I reside at 272 Sandora Circle with 31 Dozier Lane in my backyard. It seems to me that this idea of transforming a beautiful wild space into offices and storage garages comes down to a question of Arundecoy not really knowing who it wants to be. Half of our land acknowledges the beautiful lakefront we have, that we're lucky to have, while much of Arundecoy is a solid strip mall. I hate to see more wild land randomly become strip mall rather than having some serious community conversations about what would add value to our town. as well as think about more creative uses than storage garages and office space. I wonder if research has been done regarding the actual need for storage garages and offices in the town, and given that we're testing the market, makes me think possibly more research could be done. If there is a need, it seems to me that there are sufficient already paved over spaces between the Irondequoit Mall and the multiple half-filled plazas along Ridge Road. I'm concerned about the loss of this land as a buffer zone. This may put pressure on wildlife to try to cross 590 even more than they already do. In addition, we are fortunate to have an osprey which nests on top of one of the cell towers on this property year after year. It would be extremely unfortunate to disrupt their nesting pattern. I'm aware that it is not a money-making proposition to protect land for birds. However, the number of migratory bird species that live and nest in that area as well, because of the open meadows and tall trees, is pretty remarkable. These things add to the beauty and character of the town of Irondequoit. In addition to my concern for the town, I'm personally concerned, being a mental health counselor who does telehealth out of my home, about possible increase in noise and traffic and whether I would be able to continue running my business out of my home. I urge the planning board to deny rezoning at this time and do a thorough environmental impact survey before considering any commercial use of this property and before deciding on rezoning. Once it's rezoned, there's no going back, and who knows what it could become 10, 20 years in the future. It's possible that the owner could make money off of his or her property while at the same time bringing more value to the town of Irondequoit in an as-yet unknown way. I would personally be willing to connect with the Community Design Center of the City of Rochester, because they do more than just the city, to see about getting such input and more creative ideas than office space and storage garages. Making money and preserving beauty and character, plus adding community value, do not have to be at odds with each other. We can have it all. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak on this issue? Mr. Barone?
Richard Barone, 154 Allwood Drive. Having been on the planning board, as Mr. Weiner has been on the planning board, I get the impression that the town board is the lead agency on this issue, or is the planning board the lead agency?
I don't think that we're there yet. Mr. Attorney?
Because whoever's the lead agency, I think, should be addressing this lady's issue of environmental impact. If the town board is the lead agency and has the environmental information, perhaps that information can be forwarded, given to the audience here tonight. So those are my questions.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come tonight. We'll take the comments.
I see.
And then this is only the public hearing for it, and then make the decision from there.
But can I get a question answered
this
tonight? Who's the lead agency on this?
This is uncoordinated review of an unlisted action, so the planning board and the town board are each serving as a lead agency for
I
their
see.
portion of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else want to speak to this issue? Please come up to the mic, state your name and address.
Patricia Lawler, 26 San Rose Drive. My concern is the same concern as the lady that just spoke to us before. And, the wooded gully, which is right behind my home and right connected with this plan, I have great fears that this gully will be ruined by such a project. Already, things are being dumped from that particular property into the gully, and I have taken pictures of what is being dumped into there. How will our gully, this wildlife place, be protected by such a project? My concern, yes, is for wildlife as well as people. We are a residential area. We are people, mainly senior citizens, who enjoy a little bit of quiet and peace. and we ask for that. So please, really consider what you would be doing by accepting this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Clifford Milligan, 225 Sandora Circle. First concern is that the gentleman representing the project doesn't know where the project is. It's San Rose that's next to the property, not San Marie. San Marie is up a ways, so if he doesn't know where it is, then my question is, what are we doing? Second, once we start this process, as people have said, we can't go back. Once we build that building and it fails, then we've got a building there that we don't want. And I'm gonna bet they're not gonna tear it down and restore it to the way it was. It's open space. It's in a residential area. They knew it was residential when they bought it. Now they want to change it, and I don't even understand what that Ridge Road Planned Development District means. And they say that they're going to stick to the town road, but if that building fails, this thing is now zoned something other than residential. What guarantee do we have that the next people who come in don't decide, oh, we're going to pave Dozier Road and use it as well as the town road? This is, as one of my neighbors said, there's plenty of empty buildings in the town that can be storage units. They tore down an office building in front of the old mall. So it doesn't seem to me that there needs to be a lot more office buildings. Plus, 3000 Ridge Road is now, I believe, some type of office space. So I question why we need office space buried in the back of a residential area. And the fact that they didn't want to go with multifamily apartments when there's apartments abutting it doesn't, I mean, not that I want an apartment building there, but the fact that they don't think an apartment building next to a bunch of apartments would work, just none of that makes sense. Just turn this thing down. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak for or against? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate Hevers. I just want to reiterate or echo what all of the others have said already.
Please state your address.
302 Sandora Circle. My husband and I have lived in this neighborhood for just over 2 years. We're relatively new residents, but we've truly fallen in love with this community. One of the reasons we chose to move here was because it's quiet, safe, and family-friendly, a perfect place to raise children. We've already met so many wonderful neighbors, many of whom are here tonight, who walk their dogs daily, and there's a real sense of community here that we deeply value. I'm here tonight to voice my strong opposition to the proposed rezoning at the end of the private road behind our home. Turning that area into storage units and commercial office space would fundamentally change the character of our neighborhood. This development would bring a significant increase in traffic and noise directly behind our property, turning what is currently a peaceful private backyard into a busy drive-through area. This is not just disruptive to the quality of life we and our neighbors enjoy, but it also raises safety concerns for families with young children and pets. Beyond the personal impact, I'm also concerned about the environmental effects of paving over green space and adding commercial activity to an area that was never intended for it. This rezoning would open up our quiet residential area to public access, increase vehicle emissions, and potential light and noise pollution, none of which belong in our neighborhood like ours. We chose this neighborhood because it felt like a true refuge, a place to settle down, build roots, and eventually grow our family. This proposal threatens to take that away, not just from us, but from everyone who shares this part of our town. I respectfully urge the board to consider the long-term impact of the community and vote against this rezoning. Thank you for your time and listening to the concern of your residents.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else want to speak for or against or have any comment?
Good afternoon. Nate Pomeran, 328 Sandoras. You're going to find a lot of people are going to be repeating the same thing when they come up here because it's the exact same concerns, and I think that should tell you that they're very valid. I get it. You picked up this property and you represent a company and you want to make money. It makes sense. But it does not make sense when they purchased residential land and now they want to fundamentally change that in the middle of a neighborhood. If they wanted to develop commercial, there's all kinds of empty pavement. Right down Ridge, you can pick it up and buy that and develop it. They specifically bought residential land. So I echo the concerns of everyone else here. Do not open this bottle, because once you do, they can do whatever the heck they want with it. And it's going to turn ugly. It's not going to be a nice space. So if you approve this, it's going to become ugly. It's going to become another patch of pavement. We have enough pavement. So I urge you very strongly, please keep it residential. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak? For, against? Mrs. Strauber, do you want to address some of the concerns?
Thank you very much, Mr. Supervisor. Let me go with, I'll try to get most of these topics. I did take detailed notes. I'll start with a gentleman that doesn't think I know where this place is. I apologize for mispronouncing the street name to the east of our property, but I am very familiar with this location of the property, I can assure you. This property is not dedicated open space to the town of Arundecoit or Monroe County. This is private property. As I mentioned to you, this is a 12-acre plus or minus property. The developable area is about 8 acres. So we have 4 acres that will remain to be open space and woodlot. As this board knows, and the planning board is more specifically know, that area is in an EPOD. So we have a steep slope and woodlot EPOD along with a stream corridor. So we can't touch that area even if we want to. And we don't want to. We want to leave it as is. The traffic concerns, someone mentioned traffic. Dozier Drive is a private driveway for one owner. There is a person that has access to it down near Ridge Road, but it's a private drive, and we do not want to make that anything more than it is. We want to leave it a private drive to service this existing house and structures. We want to take all the traffic that currently goes there, including the cell phone companies and all the people that come down this property, and move it away from the residential area. We want to decrease the traffic conflicts, decrease the noise, and I think this plan will do that very well. And buffering is what we want to do. I think that if you utilize what we have there, those existing buildings in-house, and we consider that a buffer, the first building that we show is over 200 feet from our property line. And if you look at our concept plan, we even show buffering within our own project, because we want that farm to remain as is and intact. So we want to leave that as a historic almost feature, and we want to buffer the future development. So buffering is very important to us. We look forward to the opportunity to work with the planning board on buffering, including a lighting plan. It'll be dark sky compliant and other issues of that. Going back to the open space, we are not have any issue of creating a conservation easement over that gully and giving that easement to the town of Arundecoit. Issue of seeker, the seeker form, short form was supplied to the town board. So we are in that process. Also, if you're familiar with the form, it identifies any features that could be impacted, historic places, birds of issues that may be there, and this only identified a possible federal wetland. So the osprey nest, although it may be there, we don't choose to impact it, but it's not noted on the seeker form that you have in front of you. As you know, the seeker form is filled out mostly by the state DEC. We basically put our name on it, and it kind of self-fills for any of those issues. So we really want to protect the gully. We want to protect the woodlot. We're not looking to pave the world here. People say, leave it residential. Well, yeah, it is. We bought it as residential. We understand that, but this is the process that we're in. I think that, if we went through any other process, I don't think this is zoned R1. I don't think it's proper use. If the gentleman mentioned that he doesn't care, that it should be apartment building, we've gone down that path. People have knocked on our door. I've done a concept plan where we have 200 units. I don't think that's good for Arundecoit. I don't think they would do that. The height limitation could be 4 or 5 stories. I don't think they want that. I don't want that. So we think that this will be the most unobtrusive use, and the best tool that we have for us as we go through this process is the planning board. And I welcome more of their comments if we're fortunate to get to the planning board where these issues can be explored in more detail. The character of the neighborhood, I understand. I mean, this was a farm for a long time, But as I mentioned during the workshop, that this property went all the way down to the bay at one time. Change happens. You know, subdivisions get created. So this property, out where they live, was once a big field or an orchard, and things do change. We wanted to change this from residential to this product. We feel that as we go through the planning process, not only conditions of approval from your board, but the planning board, we can put safeguards into this. I also made, during the workshop at the planning board level, I made some guarantees to the planning board when I come back, hopefully, that we can put some deed restrictions on some of the excessive uses that are allowed in this zoning district. We have no plans for a cinema. We have no plans for a 200-foot building. So there's some things that we can look forward to working with the planning board and deed restrict if we're fortunate. But we want to be good stewards of this property. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Ugly, you know, that's to the own person's eye. Failure of business. As I mentioned on my first presentation, Mr. Armitage owns a successful electrical contracting business. I own my own business. We own several businesses together. We make very strategic moves. We don't take chances. We are very, put a lot of time and energy to this. So we don't believe this is going to fail. It's not an example. Who would spend the money that we spent and the money we're going to spend on it if come? As far as, viability, we have a waiting list for our storage facilities. I think if anyone went and tried to get a storage facility in Arundecoit, they'd be hard pressed to. But that's not the first entity. We have to come back to this board or the planning board for a special permit if we want to get a building permit for the special use. We're showing this concept plan as much detail that I can put on it with as much infrastructure and showing the maximum use of this property. But as I foresee it, the first use of this property would be one single building that would be constructed out there for use, as I described, flex space with outdoor storage of vehicles and things such as that. So I think that we have an opportunity here to change the property. I understand the neighbors are upset. We will continue to work with them. If they want to have a separate meeting outside of this at the planning board level, I would look forward to that, but I do want to address their concerns. We already have plans to do some additional landscaping between the existing houses and the property line, and want to work to that end. So I hope that addresses the public's comments, and I can take any comments that the board has related to this.
All right, I will now open up for discussion. Does anyone have any questions from the board?
How many, in this one building, how many spaces
Yes.
are in that? And to take that further, do you already have people lined up?
So we don't have people, to go to your first question. So the flex space building, its size, they're pretty big. These are shown as 70. I made them as big as possible. We don't want to they're not going to be 70, but they're usually about 60 feet deep and about 200 feet long, and you create about 1,500 square foot suites. So there'll be 15 individual suites within that building. They would have their own 14-foot door, a man door, and a bathroom. And that's what they would get when they rent that spot. So, and to that end, we do not have anybody. All we know is from our existing business within the town, the people that are asking us, can we rent 2 of your storage units and operate a business out of there? And we're like, no, that's not allowed. So I think that this use, and as I mentioned, other towns have it. It's very, very popular. And it pulls, I think it helps the neighborhoods. That guy that works next door that has a small business that's pounding nails in the middle of the night, that ends and that comes here. He's got a better spot.
So what I hear you saying is that for small business owners who work out of their home, this is a place to kind of transfer from a residential area to another area.
Yeah.
What kind of businesses do you have? I know you in Henrietta, Ogden, and there's a third place here, and I think Parrington. You have flex space, correct? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so again, these are, they're so numerous what you could find on here. As I mentioned, a landscape company where they could sharpen their blades, have an office. There's framers where they have to store their stuff. It's a lot of the more contractor intensive uses are where their employees are on a project site where they have to come and go back. Like a mason, hey, we need another bag of concrete. They go back to the shop and they get it. So it's a lot of people that need a place to store stuff that's a little bigger, and they can use it for their business. Another one is a car detailing business. That guy brings a car in there, details it, and has its own shop. It's not meant for heavy retail where people are in and out of this facility. Another one I mentioned was a batting cage where a guy has or a pitching machine for for softball players where they go in there and do a clinic. So some of them are very unique. One was an archery. This guy's indoor archery range. Another one was a gentleman that runs an eBay business where he puts all his eBay products here. Instead of people coming to his house, they come here, or he works on them here and brings them to a site where he sells. And I mentioned hobbyists. Some guys have, you know, a couple Corvettes where they want to have them in a heated facility, or an antique boat. You know, there's a lot of uses here, too many to name, but we can control the noise. We'll have lease agreements in here. It will be gated, and all the doors will face internal. So on this building on the east side, the doors will face west. On the building on the north, the doors will face south, projecting the noise, projecting the light away from any residential uses. But we think it's going to be a very successful project. And as I show you this plan, it shows numerous buildings, but again, we're probably going to start with this building here, one of the buildings. And you know, in order to construct a building of that size, you're looking at $400,000, $500,000 in investment. So it's a very serious business, and we take it very seriously.
What is the max number of buildings you feel you can put on that property?
So going back, it's 12 acres in size. We have about 8 acres of developable area, but we don't want to maximize it. We're going to leave almost 2.5, 3 acres of the residential property. So now you're down to 5 acres, and depending on the size of the building, you know, I don't see it being much more dense than I have it. We don't want to have a lot of buildings. We want to have, you know, space for the tenants to operate. We need parking spots for their employees and things like that. So we show conceptually 2 large buildings, 2 mini storage buildings. We show several parking spots for outdoor parking of RVs and boats and things like that. Again, everything's pushed towards the gully, not in the gully, but towards the gully, away from the people. And but again, I'm hoping, you know, as the town board knows, the planning board are experts in this. They've had a conceptual review. I think they spoke in favor of it for the most part. And so, you know, again, this is a sketch, and as we go to the planning process, we'll have a lot more detail.
You used the term test earlier, so you're not testing the concept, you're just saying in the Irondequoit. Is that what
I
you're...
believe this is, you know, and working when you're planning coordinator, as I said, we struggled to find a use. Is this industrial? Is this commercial? It's not. And the Ridge Road Development District seemed to really fit for what our goals were. Yes, some of these, if you go through the code, some of these are intensive uses, which we're not proposing. So it's not a test. It's a proven entity in other towns. And I think, ironically, we don't have anything in the code to allow this, and I think this is a good fit. So it's not a test as far as does this flex space philosophy work. It does.
Any other questions?
I will say, as an architect, I'm familiar with this building type. It's very prevalent in many markets. It is a transitional use for people, just like you said, that have small businesses that are looking to go to the next step. And you know, and I do think, and I'm, you know, very familiar, even in my first house's neighborhood, a number of contractors, painters, you know, different small contracting entities that, you know, worked out of their, and many times the neighbors used to come in and complain about their vehicles being parked in their driveway and things like that, which, you know, is another permit and special that they need to get. And I think this would be a perfect transition for Irondequoit, which is a very working class, if you will, type of residential area. And I feel like these are the types of uses that for transitioning from as your business is growing.
I agree. Thank you.
John, one quick question, the cell towers,
Yes.
you're not responsible for those,
We
right?
are not. There's 2 leases. They remain with the Broadner family.
Okay.
So they do occupy the property. We cannot change those, move them, interfere with them. The one thing I think would be a benefit to the neighboring community is modifying the easement agreement. As I said, all the vehicles come down Dozier Drive and their permitted rights, go through the barns and have this arduous path to the cell towers. And I think I've measured it's 1,800 feet they'd have to travel. With this new plan and allowing us to go to the town road, we can give them a new easement. It'll cut it to 200 feet.
Yeah, because it's right off of that road.
Yeah.
Just my suggestion, I think, partnering up with the neighbors, you know what I mean? Get a rapport with all them. I think it's a good use. I like the, bringing the traffic over on the other side. I think it'll help quite a bit too.
I think that's a very big improvement.
Mr. Percone, to your point, prior to going to the planning board, I will have an informal meeting. I'll get the mailing list from Michelle and either have it at our at that property, and kind of go over the whole process. I guess, I don't have much to say other than, we don't have a lot of detail yet. If we're fortunate, and I will do that prior to the planning board application, if we're fortunate to get rezoned.
That's a good idea.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll now take a motion to close the public hearing.
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, are there any actions?
Yes, there's two resolutions. Resolution 1 regarding State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance in the matters of rezoning 31 Dozier Lane, tax ID 092.07-1-85 from from R1 residential to RRPDD Ridge Road Plan Development District.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Are there any additional explanations needed? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 2, approving an application on the matter of rezoning 31 Dozier Lane from R1 residential to RRPDD Ridge Road Plan Development District.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanations?
I would just like to say I've definitely heard all the neighbors, and I understand their concerns. The planning board is very much involved in this process and provides the controls and the method of, adhering to the things and considerations that you have. So I would encourage everyone to continue to speak up on this and talk with a developer who seems to be very interested in hearing and trying to adhere to what the people are saying. And that's really where, you can exercise some control.
Thank you.
Agree.
And I think it's great that you offer for the EPOD, the slopes and the environmental protection and not developing the full property. So I think, if you move forward with those, then I'm not opposed to this type of building. I think you can have both heavy cake and eat it too. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
We now move on to public hearing number 2. Can we have a motion to?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The hearing is now open. Madam Clerk?
Item number 2, on the matter of rezoning 1776, 1750, 1732, 1720, and 1710 Hudson Avenue from R1 Residential and M Manufacturing Districts to R5 Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is, again, request by Land Tech Planning and Surveying, acting as agent to rezone these 5 parcels that are located in the R1 Residential District and M Manufacturing Districts to the R5 Residential District for a proposed development of 2 45-unit apartment buildings with a community and maintenance building on site.
Thanks again, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. John Sharaba with Land Tech representing Hudson Avenue LLC and Eagle Ridge Apartments LLC. This property is located on the east side of Hudson Avenue, about 500 feet north of Ridge Road, adjacent to the commercial building, kind of where Pontillo's is and the barber shop. This area consists of 5 different tax parcels that are currently zoned R1, and we also have an R4 zoning, Eagle Ridge Apartments, that surround us to the east, which are our owner's property as well. So these existing homes have numerous houses there. We are looking to rezone and construct a new facility. So we would raise all of these existing buildings and develop a new apartment project. The public hearing says 2 45-unit buildings. That's about as much density as we can put in here. Our plan is substantially less than that. We're hoping to get around 76 to 80 units when we are all said and done. The concept that you have had, and you've had for a while, shows that. But the existing condition, it's really not a residential neighborhood at this point. We have the commercial facility to the south. We have apartments to the west. We have apartments to the east, and we have professional building to the north. The owners have owned this property for a long time. They're familiar with the rental market within the town of Arundecoit, and they want to beautify this property with a new market rate facility. So what we're proposing are the two buildings. These will be 3-story buildings. I know the town board has a packet of what they're going to look like. I do have some for the public if they're really hard to see. We have access to all public utilities, sewer, water, gas, and electric. Our proposed concept shows no new curb cuts to Hudson Avenue. So Hudson Avenue is a county road, so we're going to eliminate about 5 curb cuts, which are existing driveways. And the philosophy, working with the planning board conceptually, is pushing these buildings closer to Hudson Avenue, creating a more walking community. The buildings will buffer the traveled way of Hudson Avenue, and the parking will be in the back. And access to the project will be off of the private road, Eagle Ridge Drive. So no new curb cuts on Hudson Avenue. I think that's a safe thing. Preliminary conversations with Monroe County TOT is very favorable. So these, as I said, will be market rate apartments. We are proposing 1 and 2 bedroom units. There will be no 3-bedroom units here. There will be no garages. I do have examples of how these buildings look. I know they're in your packet. The example that we have is called Ellison Heights Apartments, the closest one that has been built, which is on Penfield Road in Penfield. If you're going down Penfield Road towards Panorama Trail, it's on your left. They're beautiful buildings. The only difference is they have garages below, so they're elevated quite a bit. So this building height will be around 39 feet at its maximum height, which are some parapet walls that are shown. We have around 150 parking spots proposed at this time. We have a community center. The area I show here, this blue spot, which shows it's basically stormwater management. One of the challenges we have in development at this time is stormwater management and achieving the goals of the DEC. They require a stormwater management permit. So as we pave these areas, we have to contribute or account for that. And so there'll be stormwater designs related to this project. Other than that, it's really, the planning board's going to have a lot of looks at this. We're going to have an extensive landscaping plan, utility plan, lighting plan, and really hoping that the board will see fit to rezone this to R5 so that we continue our path through the planning process. And the other thing I want to mention, about 10 years ago, our clients built an 18-unit apartment project right in this area, and they have a special permit and a variance to build there, and this rezoning application will bring that lot into compliance. And when all is said and done, these lots will be combined, and this will function as one entity. The lot lines will disappear, and it'll be one apartment project with one common ownership. That's a kind of a brief overview of what we're looking to do. Again, this is a conceptual layout. The planning boards are really the expert on buffering, landscape design, separations. We may need some variances because we are taking some liberties and pushing these buildings closer to Hudson Avenue than the code will allow. But that was done in conjunction with conversations with the planning department, so we think it's going to work well. And we look forward to rezoning these properties to R5 and continuing our path of approvals with the planning board.
And with that, we'll now open up to public comments. Do we have anyone that wishes to speak to the issue? Please, thank you. Please step up, state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Marquita Nesmith. I am the nurse who works at the daycare that is located on this property that they're looking at closing without notifying the parents or the owner of the daycare. So I was just wondering, what's the plan for the children and the families that are going to lose their spots since so many daycares have closed in Arundecoit?
Can you address all comments to the chair, please?
Oh, yes. So that's my only comment.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any other comments? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Town Council. My name is Fran Branco. I live at 151 Floral Drive, near this area. My concerns are dealing with mainly the safety and the road traffic in this area. Being a 22-year resident in this neighborhood, my children had to cross Hudson Ave several times every week to go to Rogers Middle School and then cross it again to come home at the end of the day. I'm not against rezoning or redevelopment. I think change is good, but my concern is we've already got very, very constricted driving spaces between East Ridge Road, Hudson Avenue, and Titus Avenue with heavy traffic times first thing in the morning when our kids are going to school, again in the afternoon when they're coming home. And what is that going to do, and how are we going to address the safety of those children? My other concern is looking at the plan from a safety aspect. I know fire is going to happen. There's going to need to be emergency services to get in and out of this facility. I only see one entrance and exit in and out of this facility. How are we going to manage a fire truck or a hook and ladder being able to get into there and get back out of that property without forcing residents to have to move cars or potentially damaging some of the landscaping and other things that are going to go on in this area? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Richard Barone, 154 Allwood Drive. I like to put in the record my credentials because of what I'm going to say. I served for 14 years on the planning board, 10 years as the chairman, 8 years as a councilman for this town. I recall, and the attorney can correct me if the law has changed, that rezoning is a legislative act of the town board. A legislative act, which means nobody can force the town board under any circumstances to rezone property. You can deny rezoning because you just don't like it and not give a reason. Now, I don't remember in all those 22 years I served for this town whether or not you could look at in apartments rental issues. The gentleman mentioned market rates. I recently tried to help somebody get an apartment to rent, and it's unbelievable. She's paying $1,700 for a two-bedroom apartment. Anyways, I'd like to know for the record, and I believe you cannot use it necessarily as a reason normally, but you don't need a reason. To deny a legislative act, you do not need any reason whatsoever. You don't need to give one. And again, I could be corrected. I would turn this down if the market rates are going to skyrocket. Now, that's not an issue you normally look at land use. Everything I've learned about land use is you don't look at rentals normally. But we're in a different situation. Are we going to throw people out of apartments and then have excessively high rentals? Between you and me, if I was sitting where you are, if that's the case, I would vote no. For the mere fact that it's a legislative act and you cannot be forced or argued into in any way whatsoever performing the legislative act. And that's true, I think, of all our other governments, state, federal. You cannot force legislators, and you are legislators. Yes, you deal with a lot of other things that are not legislative, but I would not approve this project if the rents are going to be skyrocketing to upwards of $2,000, give or take, whereas now maybe it's only about $1,200 a month. So I know this is unusual. I've never spoken like this before, but for your consideration, that this is a legislative act, zoning is a legislative act, you're not forced to do it, and no law and no judge would ever, I think, force you to approve any rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak for or against or have a comment on this issue? Seeing none, I will now open up for town board discussion.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to address any of those questions at this time?
Please do.
So the owners of Eagle Ridge LLC and the Cabot Group, which are their property managers, are very aware of the daycare facility. They are not going to kick them out to the streets. They are going to stand by the letter of their current lease. They may choose not to extend that lease. I know Councilwoman Cunningham was concerned about daycare. It's an issue out there. It's not the market that my client is used to operating in, and they don't choose to. We know it's a very hard business, and it's not in their business plan. The other gentleman mentioned traffic. Traffic in this area is maintained and under the jurisdiction of Monroe County DOT. We're fortunate in our town that the permit administrator for the Monroe County DOT, Mr. John Raymond, is an Arundecoit resident, and him and I have a great working relationship. He does hold us to task. If you think about what we've done at Quickly's on the corner of Hudson, we've done a lot of extensive things, so he's very aware of the local knowledge, and I think we're fortunate to that end. So I don't know what we can do for traffic calming measures on Hudson Avenue with this project, but I can tell you that currently we have 3 access points proposed. One is from the north, one is from the east, and one is through the south. And we will work with the fire marshal as he does his plan review when the future site plan comes, so we are aware of that. We understand Mr. Barone's point, this is a legislative act. This is the only avenue we have to achieve this goal through the rezoning process. We could not do this through a use variance or any other variances through the zoning board. So we're hoping the town board sees fit. I did mention market rate. This is a multi-million dollar project. When you think of 90 apartment units, I can't tell you the rates or the rent that we're proposing right now, but anywhere from $1,800 to $2,200 a month will not be outrageous for a new 2-bedroom facility in one of these units. And I think, as a personal note, in my business used to be a lot of residential subdivisions, building residential subdivisions. It has transitioned as a site engineer to, I would say, 70% multifamily. I think this board, I know Mr. Wayner is familiar with it as people, no one's buying their first house at 24 anymore. People are working all over the world. Kids don't change the oil in their car. They don't cut the lawn. So a 30-year-old person, an apartment is more attractive, it seems, these days. And that's just the culture that I think we're in. I don't know if I agree with it, but that's kind of where we are. And so these are very favorable. And as far as marketability, our client has had a long history. I mentioned the ranch duplex units to the east. Those are 1960, 1970 apartments that were built. They're fully rented, and they rent those out at a different rate. I don't have those numbers. And then in 1996, they built the 18-unit building. That is fully occupied, and they're familiar with that. So they're willing to invest more time and money into Arundecoit with this product. And so I'm willing to take any questions you may have.
I do have one question, and I'm going to go to my DPW commissioner. Have you, or both you guys, have you addressed the issue of stormwater, and do you think it's sufficient for this project?
No, we have discussed the stormwater issues on this property. John's very familiar with the stormwater permit and the requirements, and so I have no doubt that he will accomplish what is needed on this site. And obviously through our MS4 permit requirement with us, the town, and the DEC, we will accomplish those goals.
Mr. Director, how does this fit into, I know that we're putting into, Mr. Lang, I know that this fits into, we're looking at the end of Hudson Avenue to do some improvements. Do you think that this would benefit or detract from the plans to receive the grants to improve the Hudson Titus area?
I don't think that microphone's working.
How about this?
I think that's it.
All right, there we go. So specific to the grant application, we'll discuss later, the scope of the area that we're going to look at can't possibly cover this far south. The state just won't allow that amount of scope. But what I can say is during the planning board review, they did say that this successfully meets the goals of the town, the county, and the state for housing. Since we are a pro-housing community, that is important. And then also this corresponds with the comprehensive plan. as well as cleans up zoning that in that area is spotty at best. This would make it one swath of a specific zoning type that would really clean things up in that area.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board?
And I have one. I mean, the Cabot Group is going to own and manage, continue to manage.
They're gonna manage, the current owners are still gonna be the owners.
Okay. How many apartments does the Cabot Group manage?
Oof, I would have to refer to Mr. Bill DeShano that's here, and can answer that question.
Roughly 6,500.
For the record, Bill mentioned 6,500 units in the Rochester area.
Okay. What is the plan for the remainder of the buildings that are part of this Eagle Ridge complex?
So the loop road, I'll call it, those that remain the same. Currently, I know that Cabot Group is hired to go in and remodel as tenants leave, so they're doing like more of a restoration on a per unit basis. And the existing 18-unit building is relatively new construction. We are going to, have elements of landscaping and cross access with that and make that kind of part of this project. And as we go through that process, but we're not proposing any changes to any traffic, new connections, or any impact on utilities for any of those existing facilities.
And the one-story buildings, how many apartments are there in each building? So just
This
small
one right
ones?
here on the south?
Yeah, that's 18.
A total of 18.
There's a little, what are the other ones?
And then all these on Eagle Ridge Drive, I think they're duplexes and I think they're 2-bedroom.
Okay. And those are market rate?
Yeah, I think, but and again, I don't know the rates that they are, but they are market rate. They are ranches. I think they're very, popular with seniors, that, they can live there. I think they don't have a lot of turnover,
So this
from
would
what I understand.
kind of create a kind of diverse grouping of market rate apartments, from duplexes to a small 18-unit building to the larger building.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fit for here. They can, people can transition as time goes on, within the community.
Okay, thank you.
How long is do you guys know how long the lease is for the daycare facility?
I have to refer to Bill again then. Yeah.
We did get an email, I guess I could dig it up, from the presumed owner about their lease terms and,
I'm sorry, can you address it, please?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Patricia Clyburn. I'm the owner of the daycare, and our lease is up in January of 2026. But I do have in my contract for another 5 years if I choose to renew the lease. So I'm not sure with this happening, what's happening with the 5 years I still have left. If you understand that.
I do.
I renew in January.
I do, but I don't have the answer.
I know. I renew in January, so I'm not sure. I just sent my renewal, as a matter of fact, out. So I'm not sure. Because I just found out about this. I had no clue this was going on, so.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What is your schedule to build this?
So our goal, if we receive the rezoning, my client has asked me to move quickly into surveying and mapping of the apartment project to get all the utilities. We plan on making application to the planning board later this year. Work through the approval process from the Runnequoit Planning Board, Monroe County Planning, Monroe County Water Authority. So I think if we get everything approved in late spring or summer of -- it would be our approval start date. Construction date, the information we just received, that obviously comes into play. But they really don't have it. They want to, see if this gets approved first. They don't really have a set schedule to build. But if any of those issues, such as leases or anything comes up during the planning process, we'll have to address our schedule.
Well, John, did you, I'm looking at this, did you look at the comments, the project review report from the county? Did you look through that?
I believe I have those in my file, John, but I don't think I have them in
I
front
don't,
of me.
nothing seems to concern, but I was just wondering if you had looked through it.
Yeah,
The other thing is, you're gonna be demoing just about everything on that site, I'm assuming.
correct.
Hopefully, except for the daycare building there right now, anyway, right? There's a house there, and there's, I know there's a lot of buildings.
There's a lot of buildings there.
Okay. So that'll be the start of the project when you start demoing all that stuff.
Correct.
Because I don't believe anybody's in that house right now. I think it's
I don't believe
vacant.
so. I know that Cabot Group uses it as a rental office
Yeah.
currently.
Okay. But I did go, the project on Penfield Road, so that's gonna be kinda similar what you're looking at.
Very
Okay.
similar.
Yeah. Like you said, the garages are underneath, so it is a pretty high, a high project, you know? Sure. Okay, thanks.
It's hard to see on the plan that I provided, but
Yeah.
I think it's,
Because we looked through this, but like you said, there's parking underneath, so it does make the buildings,
yeah.
they're
and then-
quite a bit higher.
Yeah, in this
But yeah.
case, there'll be no parking underneath. And I think from my,
Good aesthetics, I like the looks of it, they look good.
I do appreciate that you're talking about parking behind. One of my pet peeves is parking at the street. But I am hearing the two concerns about the daycare, and I'm hoping that Cabot does work with the daycare, because that is a concern in our community. But that's not necessarily what we are tasked to do. We are looking at rezoning, so our hands are tied on that.
I mean, a
But
lease does protect both the landlord and the tenant, and you know, it's very difficult to break a lease on either regard.
correct.
And it certainly is a legal impediment to whatever you need to do that needs to be resolved.
But I'm also hearing the concern about traffic, especially since it's right across from Longacre. And I know that's a county road, and I'm hoping that concern will be addressed. It is not necessarily a spot where our students should be crossing. There is a crossing guard down at Brookview, so that's where they should be crossing. But I am concerned about the traffic, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and to your point's well taken, and if the planning board and if the Monroe County DOT requires a traffic study, we have no problem providing that for them.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing now I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk?
Public hearing number 3, resolution regarding State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance in the matter of rezoning 1776, 1750, 1732, 1720, and 1710 Hudson Avenue from R1 residential and M manufacturing districts to R5 residential district.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanations? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Public hearing number 4, resolution approving an application on the matter of rezoning 1776, 1750, 1732, 1720, and 1710 Hudson Avenue for R1 residential and M manufacturing to R5 residential district.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanation? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
I think that concludes our public hearing.
Yes, and move back into regular input.
All right, I have bid May, is that correct? 4879 Culver Road? That's me, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, no problem. I have a weird voice on the microphone, so.
I have a weird voice without it. Yeah. Well, it's because I'm Irish. Anyway, my name is Ben McIntilla. It's a hard one to say, yeah. I live at 4879 Culver Road. I'm about 6 houses from Marge's Bar. So, I'm talking about the Airbnb, or the rentals that are just exploding all around us. I understand that people want to rent a house. I have a house that I rent. I rent it by the year, and I would certainly not rent it by the day because it would drive my neighbors crazy, and I like them. I've lived here 25 years, and I want to continue them to like me. So basically, one of the things that I saw on the paperwork was that you're going to allow 50 in Irondequoit, okay? But it doesn't specify. It doesn't say, like, can it be 1 in 10? Can it be 1 in 20 houses? Or can the 50 of them just be together? And because what's happening is that, you know, I love my neighbors, you know, we sit, we chat, we talk all the time, it's great. And then suddenly, when somebody moves, a company, a business buys the house. So, and they pay more than a regular person could pay. So now, I don't know my neighbors. You know, I don't know who they are. It's changing every day. Somebody's coming. There's a dog I've never seen before when I go out. It's strange. It's weird, and it's not the beautiful Irondequoit neighborhood that I've lived in for 25 years. I love this place, and it is slowly being destroyed. That's how I see it. I think that you're probably going to vote to allow these, but you're going to have to make a lot of restrictions. You know, you can't just say there's going to be 50, because does that mean that I can have 5 on either side of me? Or does it mean it has to be 1 in 10? It can be 1 in 20. You need to make better decisions, or decisions that, you know, will help me where I live. I don't want to have 10 on one side and 10 on the other, and then, you know, I don't know anybody anymore. The kids don't know anybody anymore. They're here today, they're gone tomorrow. I don't want to live like that. I love this town, I don't want to leave it, but you're not making it easy for us. So all I'm asking you nice people is make it easy for us, okay? Thanks for hearing me out.
Thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
Sorry for destroying your name. I have Chris. Sorry for destroying your name. Chris? 318 Sandoris. Fanny Ellis. Okay. Rose Arnold Schnackle. Okay. Jin Suba.
Hello, I'm Jen Suba. I live at 425 Rock Beach. And I apologize, but these are my readers, and they happen to be sunglasses, so.
Very cool.
I actually have been working with several of the Airbnb hosts to kind of understand what their needs are and kind of coming to a common ground with things. And I have a report that I'd like to share with all of you. I'm just going to read the executive summary, and we'll go from there. So, a balanced approach to housing and community standards, the introduction. As the town of Irondequoit considers updating regulations for short-term rentals, this report brings together community concerns, host experiences, and objective market data to support a balanced, enforceable path forward. Our goal is to ensure that the local short-term rental policy is not only responsive to resident concerns, but also fair to short-term rental property owners, rooted in real-world data and beneficial to the town's housing, economy, and neighborhoods. This document's organized in 3 parts. The first part is Irondequoit short-term rental landscape. It covers a data-driven snapshot of Irondequoit's current housing and short-term rental market, including housing stock and short-term rental saturation, short-term rental guest profiles and travel motivations, economic contributions of short-term rentals, safety practices and reinvestment activities, long-term planning scenarios, and short-term rental caps. The key takeaway in this particular part 1 is that short-term rentals account for less than 0.5%. That's 0.5% of the housing in Irondequoit, and are declining in number, not growing unchecked. These properties generate income, economic activity, serve real community needs, and can safely regulate without heavy-handed restrictions. Part 2, host input survey results. I actually have a 20-page survey with all the results from the hosts. It's not in here, but if you'd like to see it. Detailed feedback from active Irondequoit hosts grouped into 4 key focus areas, each aligned with community priorities identifying the town's 2023 survey. These include hosting responsibility, support for safety standards, emergency contacts, and guest conduct rules. 2, a balanced approach to short-term rental regulations, emphasis on flexible stays, and performance-based oversight over rigid ownership rules. Fair, compliant, and dispute resolution calls for evidence-based enforcement, due process, and protection against misuse of the system. And 4, ensuring representation and equitable participations. Hosts want transparent representation grounded in real experience and host input. The key takeaway in this section is to host perspectives reflect a strong willingness to compromise, backed by clear, fair rules while opposing arbitrary limits. This section outlines actionable policies.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Can I finish the rest of it, or have someone else finish for me?
No, ma'am, pretty,
I'm almost done.
okay.
Sorry. There's a lot that's in here. I'm going to give you the handout too, but I just want to finish the summary.
Can you just simply provide it to the clerk and we can finish reading it?
So part 3 is aligning the short-term rental policy with.
I'm saying, can you just give it to the clerk and we'll finish and she'll distribute it to
I can
the rest
sit
of the
down
board?
and do it again if you'd like me to sit down and.
No, thanks, ma'am. We have a long night ahead of us.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have just one question, and I'm hoping you guys can answer this, but I'd
We
like.
can't answer questions, ma'am, in public.
I know, there was at the last workshop meeting, I think you guys had mentioned that you're having meetings with people. Is that true, or is that not true?
We can't answer questions during it.
How do we find out how to make a meeting with the town board?
We'll probably cover that later. Okay? Thank you. Next, I have Christina Smith, the clerk over here, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, Christina Smith Dell, 31 Schnackle. I wanted to say first, thank you so much for all your hard work, thought, research that was put into the short-term rental situation. I can imagine how hard it's been and really appreciate your due diligence all the way around. Some comments about what was in the addenda. Under required permit D, those properties with short-term rental commitments existing on this date of this section takes effect, shall be permitted to honor such existing commitments, but must apply for a permit within 60 days of this local law. This is vague and doesn't take into account current rental permit holders. I already have paid and have a rental permit until May of 2027, which I've held since 2023 with no issues. I don't believe I should be penalized or have to apply or reapply or pay twice or early, and my rental permit should be honored. Please consider adding a grandfather clause like other towns. The number of short-term rentals not to exceed 50. Currently, there's 95 short-term rentals out of 23,457 homes. That's, like Jen said, 0.41% of the current homes. Under short-term rental standards, there shall be 500 feet of separation between the boundaries. There's got to be a better way to address concentration issues. Like, how would that work? Whoever gets their permit first is the lucky one, and then everyone else is out of luck. Each shall be a minimum of 3 days. This will have a huge impact. 2-day overnights capture weekends, quick trips for families. 3 will severely reduce bookings and reduce revenue from taxes and for local businesses. Longer minimum stays can sometimes attract larger groups. More frequent short stays will help meet the tourism demand without requiring more properties to be converted into rentals. Maximum occupancy shall not exceed 2 per bedroom. This may seem reasonable until you think of children or infants. Do small children and infants count towards this? Airbnb does not count infants in occupancy count, just FYI. Questions about noise level. I already have one of the devices there. I saw 55 and 65 as the limits for during the day and at night. 65 during the day. I just wanted to share that the average washing machine is 70. So I think those are a little out of tune. Grounds for suspension, number 5, is very concerning with somebody who has a false reporting neighbor. It's very vague. Disturbs the health, safety, peace, or comfort of the neighbor. Wow, that's just too vague for such severe fines. $1,000 for a first offense seems pretty extreme. And then finally, all parking must be on site. You know, for a three-bedroom house, having 2 parking spaces seems really good. I don't know if we need to do 1 per bedroom, but again, I really want to say thank you to all of you for your consideration, and have a good night. Thank you.
Miranda?
Hi, my name's Miranda Kick. I live at 68 Schnackle Drive. I was very hopeful the last time I was here that we could all come together to find a compromise regarding short-term rentals in our community. However, after reading through the regulations today, I do not feel the same. The permits alone, capping at 50, will shut down 2/3 of the existing short-term rentals, leaving hosts vulnerable to financial hardships. Requiring 500 feet, that's almost 2 football fields of separations between boundaries containing a short-term rental, unfairly limits what homes are eligible to be short-term rentals. This doesn't feel like a fair compromise. It feels very one-sided, and eligibility seems unattainable. I hope that you may also consider adding safeguards to protect us as hosts against false reporting of disturbances and have a system in place to validate complaints, because these are complaints that can lead to heavy consequences, including appearance tickets for violating town law, the revocation of permits, and fines of up to $5,000. We need due process, fairness, and safeguards against exaggerated or false complaints. As owners, we want to do this the right way, and to do so we need both a fair and streamlined process. So, thank you. I also agree with a lot of the safety ones too. There was some good stuff in there, but yeah.
Thank you. Mark? Howden?
Hi, my name is Mark Haldo. I don't know why I got to give my address, because every single one of these people gave you the wrong address except for them right there. None of these people live in the town of Arundecoit. They gave you the address of their Airbnbs. So if you got all those addresses, you'll understand that none of these people actually live in Arundecoit. You need to get their actual driver's license address so you know where they actually live. She's the only one that has given her actual address that actually lives at the Airbnb. Mine is 39 Schnackle Drive. I have not done any false reports. I have plenty of police reports. I have pictures and videos of the police showing up to my house. The noise monitor that she has on her house is on my side of the house. It's not over the hot tub, fire pit, or the deck area. So I don't know what she's talking about by, decibel level. You're not going to hear anything from over there. It's completely on the wrong side of the house. The other thing is, so the other day, I had a guy walk right onto my patio and ask me, where do I live? And I'm like, I'm sitting on my patio, I live here. This morning, their guests came in on a whole nother car, parked in front of my house, which is on the easement, which is not allowed, loaded up all their stuff, and then packed up for the day and left. She has a camera right on that corner of the house. Didn't call them, didn't tell them they can't park there or anything. These are the things that we're talking about. Unless you want to monitor this stuff, which you can monitor, have the monitor for the noise come right to your department. All the Ring cameras and stuff like that, I know the police departments and all that can get into and use the Ring camera if you basically give them permission. You guys can monitor this. Right now, with all these rules, I'm the one that's working for the town. I'm the one that has to make sure that they only have 2 cars parking there, or they only have 2 people per bedroom, or any of this stuff, the noise. I have to be the one that has to call and complain and all that stuff. I'm doing your job. I'm not getting paid. That $1,000 fine, I did all the legwork. Why am I not getting that $1,000 fine? Why are you getting the $1,000 fine? You didn't hear the noise. You didn't see the destruction or whatever else had happened. The flower pots at my house that get run over, things like that. And you're going to tell me, well, that's got to go through auto insurance. These last people from Indiana, what am I supposed to do? Run down the road and chase them? How am I getting their information from Indiana? they're not gonna give me the information, the homeowner that runs the Airbnb, because they're gonna say, well, you, again, it's a false report, it's this, it's that. Like I said, I have physical evidence on every single one of her things that she's saying that is a false report. And I will give you, when the permit application comes up, I will give you a flash drive, and you guys can sit and watch all the videos and all the pictures on it. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And thanks very much for the information. And I just want to, going forward, we have a number of people. It is your residential address, not a location that you don't reside in. Thanks very much for the information. Tammy Howdo? Oh, okay. Lynn Parsons? Kate Evers? 302 Sandors? Okay. Tyler. And Chris Shaw. Does anyone else want to speak to this issue? Sir?
I'm Ray Arnold, 880 Manitou Road. My property's at 158 Schnackle. I just hope that the board's actually looking in to make sure to see if there are truly police reports. 'Cause it seems to me, one neighbor was explaining that it seems like every tenant, every person that comes to the Airbnbs apparently is a problem. I've had a number of tenants to my property. My neighbor actually talks to them and says, "Oh, those are great people all the time." I don't know who they're renting or what's going on with the rental there, but something's wrong. Maybe a hostile approach towards the renter could possibly be causing this problem. It sounds to me more that it's an easement problem than truly an Airbnb problem. You know what? Don't buy a house that has an easement going through it. I don't know what to tell you.
All comments? Excuse me, all comments to the board?
Regardless how long you've been there, don't have a property with an easement. I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks. Please address all comments to the board. Sir?
What's that? Well, I'm being heckled from the back.
Just
You know,
ignore him, sir.
You know, I didn't say anything when he was up there saying that we gave the wrong address. We were under the impression we should give our address to our Rondequoit property.
It's your personal address, sir. I've addressed that.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, honestly, but you know what? I just let people enjoy my property because we have a sewage ejector pump. And I really don't, I'm a very busy person. I don't really have time to be there as much as I would love to. And, you know, we Airbnb it to keep everything working right. I don't know if you guys understand about properties, but you know what? If you don't use it, things go to hell. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But that's it.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Does anyone else want to address this issue? Sir?
Just a quick question. I know that you can't answer.
We still need your name and
Nick
address.
Arnold, 3896 Dewey Avenue.
Your mic's not on, I don't think.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. You spoke earlier, right?
I did.
Does anyone who has not addressed the board want to address the board?
Brian Kick, 68 Schnackle Drive. I'm not addressing that situation specifically, but I just wanted to maybe give you guys a few ideas. I think 50 permits is a little bit low. That would be 1/3 of 0.5%, which we're getting into like crazy numbers there. And just a few of the things that I read today, one regarding the 50 permits, are there going to be any exceptions for owner occupied? Are there any exceptions if your neighbors sign off on it? Because I have great standing with my neighbors. One's an Airbnb next to me. It's great. We've had no problems. An elderly woman has been in there all summer. And my other neighbor would have no problem signing a good neighbor's clause, saying, this is fine by me, let them do it. And that's basically all I have for neighbors. So if a good neighbor's clause is something that you would accept, I think maybe being allowed to go over the 50 would be appropriate, and also I feel like the 500 feet, I feel like encompasses my entire street. So if there's one on my street, there can be no more. And what process do you use to choose? Is it a lottery? I know you don't have to tell me, but I'm just wondering because I know there's at least 3 here right now on my street, and how does one person get it? You know, that kind of leaves everybody else in the dark. But I appreciate you guys taking my time. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to have that? Okay, so please step up.
Rachel Gordon, excuse me, I've had a bad allergy day, 140 Superior. I want to address a few things. I did see what's proposed as far as short-term rentals. I think all the other owners have pretty much hit on all the things that I might be concerned about, except for one thing was brought to my attention tonight, a background check. If I'm buying a house, I don't think I need to have a background check, so that seems a little bit unusual to me. But I understand where the homeowners are coming from. I want to give you 2 examples recently that I had as a short-term rental owner. Someone, we don't accept, as I've stated before, local people unless there's an extenuating circumstance. And just recently, in the past 2 weeks, someone told me they were coming to town for a baby shower. When I looked to see where they were from, because Airbnb gives you a profile of the person, they were local. So I said, okay, before I accept your request, can you answer a few questions for me, as I do with everyone? Have you read our house rules, our property rules? Then you know that we require a photo ID from the person making the reservation before I accept it, and first and last names of every guest who's going to be staying on the property. And so they didn't respond. I said, and then, by the way, you said you're coming to town for a baby shower, but yet you live in town, so I'm a little bit confused. Can you explain that to me? And they said, thank you, we're going to make other arrangements. Right? It's very easy to weed people out. Right after that, I had someone else contact me who just had a house fire, has a 10-day-old newborn and a 4-year-old, and the insurance company was going to put them up in a hotel. She said, I can't with a 10-day-old baby stay at a hotel. So I went over to welcome them. I have a thing for babies. I said, can I hold the baby while you're unpacking your car? And she said, you know, my husband and I are both in the real estate business. We work together. We looked at this house. The house was a dump. I cannot believe how beautiful you made this house. We are so grateful to be here. It's costing us less than it would have to stay at the hotel that the insurance company was arguing with us over. So these are the kind of people that we are taking in. I know there's problems in every business with every industry, but if you have responsible property owners, this is what the kind of results that you'll have. People that are grateful. We've never had a complaint. We just got superhost status again. And then as far as parking, we also in our rules say this is how many cars you can have. We have 4 bedrooms. You can park 2 cars and 2 cars, and that's it. Across the street, ourselves and all of our neighbors have complained about someone who lives 2 blocks away, parks 3 boats on public land all winter. We have a boat. We pay to dock our boat. He does not. Now there's construction vehicles there. There's a flatbed there. No one addresses that. And I do just want to say one other thing about property owners. I think it's all public knowledge. Our house was listed for $179. We paid $200. That is not unusual at all. Anyone could have bought that house. I'm not from out of town.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Does anyone else who have not addressed the board wish to address the board?
Marshawn Wright, 75 Clay Avenue. That's where I live and that's where I vote for. I've read the proposal. I got some questions. How are the 50 going to be picked? It's going to have to be pretty darn public how they get picked. Are they friends of yours, relatives of yours? Relatives of employees? Why would an LLC or a corporation not have to reapply like everybody else? Are the private owners chopped liver? and they're better? No, they all reapply. They don't get extended, they reapply. Because you don't know what's happened to someone or their life, or their lifestyle in 2 years. Everybody. I can become an LLC tomorrow. All I gotta do is go to a lawyer. Owners or agents have 4 hours to get to the site of a problem. Is that from the time the call was placed, when your office is open, or if the police can get there? So if the call was placed at 2 a.m., your office doesn't open till 9. Well, good. The neighbors get to put up with it for all those hours? No. You're leaving loopholes. Loopholes are not good for either side. I've found nothing in the document that talks about trespass of guests wandering onto other people's neighboring properties. Or do you think this is okay? You didn't put anything about it in there. Owners should have to have their own private driveways and their own private boundary areas so that the guests know what their boundaries are. This should all be in there. We can't leave these loopholes. All owners should have to reapply. No 30 days before expiration. It should not be mandatory for this town to notify the person they have to reapply. It's their business. They should be running it. You shouldn't have to send them a letter, you're coming up for your 30 days. This is how the case happened in Greece. It was not a court case. It was a ZBA case. It sounds like special treatment. Will the noise alerts go to IPD? None of the owners should ever be affiliated with this town or this town's employees. Owner wishing to change sleeping or parking arrangements can go get a variance. A variance is permanent to a piece of property. It doesn't go to the owner, it goes to the piece of property and it stays there even if you sell. And then sometimes gives a selling point to that property owner, which is not fair.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Does anyone else who have not addressed the board want to address the board? Does anyone who have already addressed the board want to readdress the board?
Nicholas Arnold, 3896 Dewey Avenue, 158 Schnackle Drive is the Arundequit address. I'm just a little confused. A few comments ago, we heard that there was a noise monitor only on the complainant's part of the house, area of the house. Is that where it's supposed to be, or where would, in the new law, where would you want that? Is that a thing? I don't know why that would even be brought up. Second of all, the private parking, would that, the way I read it is if you have a parking spot in your property, you can host as an STR. Doesn't mean there can't be an easement to get to that parking space. You know, just want to bring it up to the board. There's more than one side of the story, and just because somebody cries the loudest doesn't mean they're right. It means they're upset about a situation. You know, I didn't get sued by my mother for an easement on my property. You know, I won't have to worry about that, but other people may. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, we didn't let the other one.
Well, ma'am, we have someone ahead of you. Yeah, we have these ladies who are ahead of you.
I just have one thing I would like to add.
I know, ma'am, they're ahead of you. Thank you.
Hi, Jen Suba, 425 Rock Beach. I just wanted to finish the third part of the document report that I gave you, which is basically bringing everyone together. So it's aligning short-term rental policy with community priorities. That section compares results from the 2023 Arundecoit Community Survey with the host feedback collected in 2025. Each of these 6 key areas of concern, safety, disruption, accountability, transparency, housing access, and representation, are supported in this document, and there's strong alignment between both of these two different parties. The key takeaway, responsible hosts support many of the same policy goals voiced by residents. The alignment provides an opportunity to move forward with particular enforceable rules to protect neighborhoods while preserving short-term rentals as a flexible middle ground housing option. And then a final note, Arundecoit has an opportunity to lead with smart, balanced short-term rental policies, one that promotes neighborhood harmony, supports local families and businesses, and preserves housing choice. We urge the town leaders to adopt a data-informed, host-inclusive approach grounded in fairness, community input, and real-world enforceability. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, anyone else over here? Isn't right?
I have one more thing I would like to add. Guests renting the property should be the only ones allowed there. If the guests can't have guests, it solves part of a parking problem, and it solves part of the noise problem. You came here, you rented a short-term rental, all well and good. But I can't invite my 300 relatives to that property. I'll meet them at a local restaurant, or we'll get together for a picnic over at the park. But they can't be at that short-term rental. And I think that that would be something that might be helpful to everybody. That means when they vet their people coming in, they, as the owners, are also protected because they know who's there. When they just vet the owner, what about all the guests that are coming there? The owner, it's a protection, I think, to everybody, that the guests can't have guests. The only other thing, as I read, the current building code is that the house cannot be 10 foot from a property line. So that means these houses should be 20 feet apart from another house. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Tammy Haldo, 39 Schnackle Drive. I'm not sure on the 2 points that I felt were helping my neighborhood and helping me feel a little more like the community mattered was the 50 and the 500 feet. So there was something in there about it being, you know, how many houses apart. They have to be 500 feet apart. So if you go on Schnackle Drive, which is one of the hot spots down here, we have about 50 houses, and 6 of them are short-term rentals. So this 0.5 Airbnb, that might be for the town, but over 10% of my street is a short-term rental. That's a problem. That's why the 500 feet matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So anyone else like to address? Going once? Yes, ma'am. This is your second time? I think.
I just have a question, and I know you guys can't answer it, but I just want to know how we, as a community, can talk to you and have a conversation rather than just talking at you.
We do all have email addresses.
Right. So I'll get a response.
If people email me, give me their phone number, I do call them.
Great.
Okay?
Fantastic.
I do call. I don't just email back and forth.
We've all talked to people.
Yes, I will call.
We've had open houses
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, right now we're breaking a rule.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
I wanna-
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Supervisor, if I
Mr.
could make,
Attorney?
if I can make one, there was a comment made earlier about meeting with the town board. I just want to clarify that the town board itself has never met with people in private. There may be individual town board members, but if there's no quorum, there's no town board meeting, and the town board itself has not met with any individuals in private.
Right, I'm not familiar how the process works, I just, you know, I
Thank
come
you
from
for
a
that
corporate background,
clarification.
so, you know, you have a meeting and get together and talk things out, so, all right, thank you.
Okay, okay.
There is another opportunity,
Wait,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
wait, wait,
This-
wait,
I'm not having a dialogue.
Wait, one second.
Sorry. Helen Elam, 4879 Culver Road. Sure.
Well, so what I mean. Also make sure everybody knows that there's a resolution to hold a public hearing on this where they will be allowed to speak again.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, ma'am, I'm going to,
Mike's not on.
sorry, at this point, I'm going to, this is your first time speaking?
Second, but it was really early and other people spoke.
Okay, one second, ma'am. So after you speak, we have a resolution to present a public hearing. And I do want to say that, last year, in the beginning of the summer, we had multiple meetings on this topic already, almost for a whole year, and a survey that was out and publicized. So that was the opportunity to bring issues that you're bringing up now. So we'll hear from you, and then we'll move on to the next issue. Right, ma'am.
But just know that there will be a public hearing and you will have an opportunity to talk about the proposed local law.
Okay, thank you. It's just really quick. It's about the recreational campfires, if permitted.
I'm sorry,
it
ma'am, you
must
couldn't-
be
your name and
attended.
address again?
Oh, I said it before, but again, Helen Elam, 4879 Culver Road. So I'm really concerned about these recreational campfires, and I do hope that you did discuss this with the local fire departments. I live in Seabreeze, you know, so we have some Point Pleasant. Did you talk to Seabreeze? We have issues where people have fires all the time, and the owners allow it of the short-term rentals, but they don't watch these people. They don't know, like, oh, I had to come up and talk to people instead of calling the owner, you know, it's late at night. I said, look, I came over, I said, sorry to burst your bubble, but this is not a safe situation to be having a fire in. And they're like, whoa, why? Because it's called the wind. It comes out of the northwest really strong, and our houses are made of wood, and we're very close together. All we need is something to happen like an LA fire, and there we go. And so this is just too short. We've had situations where they had the campfires too close to the house, and they just don't realize it because they don't live there. So again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. And this will close the public input portion. Madam Clerk, we have some,
Financial report.
I'm sorry, financial report, please.
Okay, the 2025 financial results as of June 30th. The town's total expenses of $22,204,000 represent 51.9% of budget and are slightly higher than 50% of the year as elapsed. Of the total expense, $19,591,000 are actual expenses, equating to 45.8% of budget, while encumbrances of $2,613,000 make up the remaining 6.1%. Encumbrances represent commitments for services, supplies, and commodities that will be needed during the year. The general fund expenses are slightly above budget at 51.2%, or $14,163,000. The actual expenditures of $13,075,000 and encumbrances of $1,088,000, which is 3.9% of budget. Included in the general fund encumbrances are attorney fees, contracted expenses throughout the town, which also includes our EMS services. Collectively, the expenses in the highway funds are $4,092,000, are higher than the 50% of the year that has elapsed at 68.4%. Actual expenses within the highway funds are $2,725,000, and encumbrances are $1,367,000, or 22.8% of budget. Encumbrances within the highway funds include paving materials and services, oil and stoning materials, fuel for the year, and surface treatment or road salt. Expenditures in the library are close to budget at $1,486,000, or 51%. Included in this expense are serial bond payments for our current library facility. The sewer fund expenses of $1,574,000 are at 39.8% of budget. Actual expenses equate to $1,468,000, and encumbrances of $106,000, or 2.7% of budget, account for the remainder. Expenses in stormwater drainage are approximately 30% of budget, total of $293,000. Actual expenses are $246,000, or 25%, while encumbrances account for 4.8% of budget. Townwide expenses are on par with the 50% of the year that's elapsed at 51.9%, or $22,204,000 of budget. Actual expenses, including encumbrances, are 45.8% of budget for the town. The three major funds, general, consolidated highway, and the sewer fund, actual expenses are also below budget. Actual general fund expenditures equate to 47.3% of budget, while highway and sewer actual expenses are 45.6% and 37.1% respectively. The general fund has received revenue of $18,099,000, or 65.9% of budget. At the end of June, 100% of real estate tax, or $13,011,000, has been collected. 105.9% of payment in lieu of tax or pilot revenue is in, and we expect an additional $25,000 due in October. 2 months of sales tax totaling $1,176,000, or 16.8% of that budget, has been received to date. Other major revenue sources, such as franchise cable fees, mortgage tax, and AIM payments, are due later in the year. Total town revenue and appropriated fund balance for the first half of the year equate to $30,862,000, or 72.4% of budget. And real estate taxes across all funds are $19,366,000. And month-end library has recorded revenue of $2,843,000, or 97.6% of budget. 78.3%, or $4,681,000 of revenue has been verified to date by highway funds. The sewer fund has documented $3,822,000, or 96.7% of revenue, and drainage has received 99% of its budgeted revenue, $973,000. The third page of this report presents the second quarter year-to-date summary and comparison to the prior 6 years. Regarding expenditures by fund, which are included in the top third of the page, percent of total budget spent and encumbered is 51.9%, which is comparable and on par with the previous years listed. Middle third of the page contains the relevant sources of revenue for the general fund. Bottom third of the page are year-to-date revenue comparisons of other funds, with the last line reflecting the total collective revenue and fund balance for the town. The 2025 general fund revenue of 65.9% is on par with prior years, as is the townwide revenue of 72.4%. Fluctuations do occur year to year, simply due to the timing of cash receipts. With that, I conclude the financial report for the month of June 2025.
May I have a motion to adopt the financial report?
I'll move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any corrections, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the financial report is adopted. Madam Clerk, we have some minutes to approve.
Yes, approval of June 9th, 2025 workshop town board meeting minutes.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the minutes are adopted. Madam Clerk?
Approval of June 17th, 2025 regular town board meeting minutes.
May I have a motion?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the minutes are adopted. Madam Clerk, there appears to, we have some resolutions to approve for board action. Can you read the first item?
Item number 1, resolution authorizing the appointment of 3 full-time laborers in the Arundecoit Public Works Department.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I get an explanation?
Thank you. Due to some recent promotions, we do have 3 vacancies in the Department of Public Works. We advertised for the position of laborer from June 5th to June 30th of this year. We received a lot of interest, over 50 applicants. And I'll let Commissioner McGee talk about her selections.
Commissioner McGee?
Yes, thank you. First want to say we did have a lot of very good interest into these positions, and we are very grateful for that. But the 3 candidates that the interview committee recommends is, first is Evan Vinci. He joins us here. He's done a few summer help seasonal positions with us, and he is very versatile, finds himself on many different crews, and very knowledgeable, and we're very excited to bring him on board. Also is Jack Nichols, who has also done a few summer helps with us, and equally is very eager and ready to learn and get around on various crews. And then the third is Andrew Martinez, who joins us from the city of Rochester. He brings a wealth of knowledge in parks operations and other field operations, and we're very excited with his eagerness and readiness to join our department. With all 3 of them are going to hit the ground running, which we're very excited about. And also, you know, as you can see, to speak to their characters, they are still here tonight, which we're grateful for. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Picked a tough night to be here.
Been a long time.
You stuck it out for this. Hopefully you'll stick it out for a long time with us. We appreciate that.
Yep.
I want to say thanks for joining the Arundecoit family. I think you're going to have fun, as you guys already know, and I'll say congratulations before we take the vote. Any other questions or comments? With that, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Congratulations, the resolution is
Congratulations.
passed.
Welcome aboard.
Would you guys like to say anything, or would you guys like to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Aaron, the board, and everybody that's helped me to get to where I am today.
Thank you. All right, thank you for congratulations. Madam Clerk?
Resolution number 2, authorizing the permanent appointment of a drafting technician.
Motion to adopt?
Move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you. I'd first like to apologize. This is long overdue. Mr. Brett in the Department of Public Works has passed his exam for drafting technician. He was provisional. He passed this back in 2024, and we just failed to bring it to the board. But he has been permanent as far as civil service is concerned. So this just makes it official from the town level.
Any other explanation?
Yeah, Chris has been with the department for, I think, about a decade. His knowledge, ability, his service not only to the Department of Public Works but town-wide. I can't speak enough to what an asset he is and how lucky we are to have him within as a resource to the town. So this resolution is very rewarding for our department and the town as well as Chris. So congratulations to him.
And I've used him a lot, and I agree. He's a huge asset. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Congratulations, Chris. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Item number 3, authorizing the permanent appointment of an office clerk 3.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you. Mr. Zachary Brooks was appointed Office Clerk 3 in September of 2024. He has since taken a civil service exam, scored really well, and we would like to make his appointment permanent tonight as well.
Any other questions or comments?
I would just like to say Zach has been a tremendous asset to the clerk's office, and we're glad we are able to make him a permanent position.
And I would second that. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none? I'm sorry. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Zach, would you like to say anything?
Congratulations.
All right. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 4, authorizing the permanent appointment of a senior dispatcher.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Thank you. For our final provisional appointment, Rebecca McLean. She was appointed in February of 2024, has since taken her civil service exam, and we would like to appoint her permanently.
Thank you. Is Rebecca here tonight? No, okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Congratulations.
Madam Clerk?
Item number 5, calling of a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend the historic preservation law of the town of Arundecoit.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, this is a project that was undertaken several years ago. I believe it was under Supervisor Fitzpatrick at the time, to update and bring up to standard our historic preservation law. The historic preservation group has done a lot of work on this. We've had several meetings about it, and this would culminate with a public hearing with the proposed changes that brings that code up to date. And this is part of our larger effort to bring all of our codes up to date as part of our overview.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 6, authorizing Labella Associates to assist with a competitive New York Forward Grant application.
Motion to adopt?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This is something we alluded to earlier with the discussion on the Hudson-Titus-Cooper corridor.
I don't think your mic's on.
I just have a low voice today, sorry. This is something we alluded to earlier with the Hudson-Titus-Cooper corridor. New York Forward is a state grant opportunity for projects, development throughout the community. We did put forth an application last year in this program for the same area. We did receive some good feedback after that initial application. And it should be noted it was the first time the town had ever applied for it, so we did learn a lot in the process. We think we're in a good position to make another go at it after getting feedback directly from the state. So this would call on Labella Associates to assist my department in some of the technical aspects of that application to increase the chances of our success.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 7, calling of a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Town Code Chapter 235 regarding short-term rentals.
Motion to adopt?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Deputy Supervisor Wayner likes to speak to this at all, but a lot of this has already been discussed this evening. This is calling on a public hearing in order to actually discuss on record proposed changes to the much-discussed short-term rental legislation.
Yeah, many of what things were said tonight, but I will say, and maybe this is better introduced next week when we do actually, or next month when we actually have the public hearing. But, we did have the purpose and intent was to establish, regulatory framework to protect neighborhood character and promote the public health, safety, and preserve long-term housing. I do think, we tried to create a fair and equitable set of regulations with some limits on it, which are subject to some, people's comments here tonight as to the numbers and such. We are trying to protect neighbors and neighborhoods. One item that I did hear a lot of, how is this, how is that, how is the other thing being enforced? It is, code enforcement is involved in anything that is stipulated within the regulation is subject to variance under the, the zoning board of appeals. So, I just did want to clarify that for the public. We did have a number of 50 within the board, which is the regulation, which I still think is a bit of a subject that we have for discussion. And I know the Office of Community Development has already done a little bit of research as to the number of short-term rentals. We have some feedback on that we can talk about. I did notice one minor edit within the law, which we're going to need to talk to, where it says 3 days, which should say 3 nights. And we may want to discuss, have the possibility to discuss that 50 limit. But our intention is to preserve neighbors and neighborhoods and to have a set of regulations that's enforceable. And it wasn't designed per se to be onerous or exclusionary. It was designed to have a finite set of regulations which can be easily enforced. And that was our intent. And I don't know, Ann, you worked with me a lot?
Yes, yeah, so we did have a very small group of residents that met with just Peter and me. It was not the full board. And we tried to listen to all sides. So this is a compromise. We have been trying to listen. And I think that a lot of work has gone into this, and I thank my colleague, Mr. Wayner, on all of the work that he did. And I also thank our town attorney who did a lot of work on this. Also, it does have teeth to it. It is enforceable. And I also thank Mr. Lang for his work as well. This is not something that we just pulled out of thin air. We did a lot of research. And like anything, it's not going to, not everyone is going to love it. But we have really tried to find a middle road. And we are still listening. And you can email, and like John said, leave your phone number and we can chat.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 8, authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester Incorporated for the Home Safe Home for Seniors program of support services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt?
Move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
So this is a series of 5 that you're seeing in front of you, this first of 5. Basically authorizing the supervisor to enter into the contracts of the approved amounts through the CDBG program for these organizations to receive the money that's been allocated out of it. So this is the first one for the Home Safe Home for Seniors program.
Any questions or comments?
No, well, just a comment that these are a series of resolutions, and these, we're partnering with organizations within our community to provide services for residents in Arundecoit to help them age in place. And that's very important. We talk about, You know, we've talked a lot about tonight about being a community for a lifetime, and these resolutions will help in that endeavor.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk.
Authorizing an agreement with Lifespan of Greater Rochester Incorporated for transportation services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt.
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Same thing, will allow the supervisor to enter into the contract with Lifespan for transportation services for the elderly. I would note at the last paragraph on the first page, now therefore it be resolved, at the end of it, it has August 1st, 235, so it's just a typo. It should be corrected to August 1st, 2025 for the resolution. Otherwise, same as the first.
With the corrections for the typo? Oh, I'm sorry. Any other questions or comments? With the corrections for the typo? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 10, authorizing an agreement with the Irondequoit Community Cupboard to provide healthy food choices to low-income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Again, authorize the supervisor to enter into the contract for the awarded amount to the Irondequoit Community Cupboard, longstanding organization that CDBG has luckily been able to help sponsor in their endeavors for a number of years now. So,
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 11, authorizing an agreement with the Housing Council at Pathstone for housing counseling services to low and moderate income residents as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
again, authorizing supervisor to enter into the contract for the awarded amount and the services that will be provided with the Housing Council at Pathstone. A very valuable service to those that really don't have a lot of places to turn when they're facing some unfortunate situations. So,
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 12, authorizing an agreement with the Catholic Family Center for non-medical home support services to the elderly as approved through the Community Development Block Grant during August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026.
Motion to adopt?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
approving the supervisor to enter into this contract also for the agreed amount and services to be provided.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 13, authorizing capital lease financing with M&T Bank for one bucket tree truck for the Bureau of Public Works.
Motion to adopt?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
So this is the second step in the board's approving the capital lease financing for the new piece of equipment that came in after being on order. I think this one was 2 years, which we still have a number outstanding for that period of time. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of these this year as things come in. M&T was the low bidder for the financing, so it just finalizes and again gives supervisor authority to enter into the final arrangements for the financing.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Under the comptrollers, we do have 2 walk-ins. So item number 14, authorizing the use of fund balance for emergency cleanup at the Public Safety Building.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Well, the Comptroller's Office is bringing the resolution mainly to authorize the use of the fund balance. I believe the background of what's going on was provided to the board. And this was unexpected and sudden. I believe it's being treated as emergency purchasing to meet the needs to remediate what's going on there as quickly as possible and hopefully correct it for the future. I know Keith Kreiser, our safety officer and building maintenance person now, was very involved in getting the effort together, ServPro. I think, John, did you?
Yes, yes.
Was present for that on site, going through everything that would be done. So the first one is for the ServPro, and then the second one that you're going to get will be for replacing the air handler unit at the public safety building.
ServPro, we had a lot of wet issues at the building, and they came in and dried it out. So hopefully we're trying to eliminate, process elimination, what the real issue is there. They did a good job there. We had the DPW, they did a great job. They cambered all the downspouts. Those are all clean. So that's one of the issues we can eliminate from our process. So hopefully this will alleviate the issue as we hope.
Thank you to our DPW for your work, and also Mr. Perticone, thank you
did a good
for
job
your
there.
attention as well.
Any other questions or comments?
I mean, is this a potential insurance claim?
No, I don't think I think we talked about that. I think
Talked about it could
the deductible,
potentially,
right?
but because of the
Deductible.
deductibles within our
Deductible's
policy.
high. It's almost the same, I think.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
The next walk-in is item number 15, authorizing the use of fund balance for replacement of air handler unit at Public Safety Building.
Okay, I think you're ready to explain it, so motion to adopt?
We need a,
Motion to adopt.
We need to, I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
It's already been explained.
I can-
Any questions or comments?
No, I just think it's an air handler that needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced, so.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
We're working with our vendor to get this ordered, so the quicker, that's why we wanted to walk in this resolution, because we're being told it's like a 12-week item.
Yeah, it's like a 14-week lead time on it as well, too. It'll take some while. They gotta build it right from scratch, I guess, so it'll take some time to get here.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
item number 16, authorizing the acceptance of a monetary gift from Ridge Donuts for the Officer Wellness Program within the Arundecoyt Police Department.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, sir, this is money that Ridge Donuts collected from our Donuts with Cops event last month, and just put it towards our officer wellness.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 17, authorizing the acceptance of a monetary gift from Italio Incorporated for the Officer Wellness Program within the Arundecoyt Police Department.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Have an explanation?
Yes, sir, again, another generous monetary gift given from Italio.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a comment that these are both lovely gifts, and it is a testament to the support from our community for our police department.
Yes, ma'am. We're running a couple things too at the car show. We're going to be doing like a 50-50 raffle, and then at National Night Out we'll have a dunk tank, and yours truly will be in there. So bring your money, and I will talk smack to you and see if you can dunk me.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Under the police, we did have a walk-in, so this will be item number 18. Authorizing the acceptance of New York State Office of Victim Service grant in the amount of up to $76,346,74
Motion to adopt?
for the year 2025 to 2028.
Premature, I'm sorry.
The commas are in some awkward spaces.
Okay, motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, sir. This is what we were talking about at the workshop. It was part of the Victims Advocate Grant. We're obviously, if you want to table it to the next workshop to talk more, get more information, we're under a timeline from New York State to accept the money before the next town board meeting. So that's the reason why I kind of walked it in here, and hopefully we can spark a discussion if need be.
Any questions or comments?
I think this is I appreciate this, and I think that having someone that's dedicated to Arundecoit is going to be a great service. Like I said last week, I think the possibilities are endless, and we can help our residents of all ages, so in a time that's very difficult for them. So I appreciate Captain Franco bringing this forward.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 19, calling for a public hearing to amend Article 7 of Chapter 222 of the Code of the Town of Arundecoit relating to installation of no left turn signs.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This is a resolution to amend our town code for no left turn signs with the recent work happening on county roads in town. This was proposed on North Goodman, so this will call the public hearing next month to amend our town code for no left turn.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 20, authorizing the Recreation Department to make a donation of proceeds from Classic Car Cruise Incorporated.
Motion to adopt?
Sorry. Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. The annual Classic Car Cruise is scheduled for this Sunday here at Town Hall from 11 to 3. We would like to take the proceeds from the car entries and donate that to United Way. Those proceeds will be go through United Way and wind up with Sunset House and Arundecoit Community covered.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 21, approving the special event license for the St. Joseph's Ukrainian Catholic Church Annual Ukrainian Festival.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
This is their annual event. We have all the approvals in from the departments as well as from insurance. And this will take place on August 14th for several days.
Any questions or comments? It's always a fun time. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 22, approving the special event license for Bert Galman to conduct a triathlon.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
This is also an annual event. We have all the approvals from the departments and insurance, and this event will be starting on August 22nd.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 23, authorizing the expansion of McDonald's current hours.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation? Sorry. Yeah.
Third time's a charm. McDonald's at 1571 East Ridge wishes to expand their hours to be a 24-hour operation, the balance of which overnight would be drive-through hours. Town Code Section 139, Section 4 requires that they obtain a special use permit from the town, which is what we're looking at here.
Any questions or comments?
If the meeting goes much longer, we will definitely need this.
I'm heading there now.
Sorry.
My brain's fried now. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 24, approving a refund of special event application fee.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
This was an application fee that we received that was denied by the board through no fault of the applicants, not providing the information needed. So the board has agreed to, if approved, to refund their application fee.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 25, approving the special event license application for Hoochie Whiskey and Music Festival.
Motion to adopt.
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
So this is the application for the Hoochie event. Currently, we have all the department approvals, but we do not currently have the insurance approval. Basically, because this is a liquor, first time special events for liquor license. So the insurance, our insurance company, they are requesting additional information. So we are waiting to hear back still.
Mr. Turner, I think it's appropriate if we vote on this pending the approval of the,
So amend the resolution to be subject to the receipt of satisfactory insurance information. Satisfactory, I believe, to our broker. Is that right? Ms. Clark?
correct.
Right.
Okay, so with the amended application upon receipt of the information to our broker, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 26, designating the town of Arundecoit as an age-friendly community.
Motion to adopt?
Move.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
This is, we've talked extensively about this, beginning with the presentation by Melissa Wendland from the Monroe County Aging Alliance. This is designating us as an age-friendly community. It's the first in a multi-step process where we can age in place, where we can make sure that we are taking care of our residents from first breath to last.
Thanks very much for bringing this up, Councilman Cunningham. I think this is, just makes our town stronger and a better place to live. So we appreciate
I also
this.
think that we are the first town that would be approving this.
Excellent, excellent. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the resolution is adopted. Our next workshop, Madam Clerk, anything else? Our next workshop meeting is August 11th, 2025 at 4 p.m. And our next regular town board meeting is August 19th, 2025 at 7 p.m. This concludes our regular town board meeting. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The meeting is adjourned.